Hello, my name is Jeff Cordwell. I'm a specialist teaching ACCA APM courses digitally online with FME. I thought today I would just share with you a question that I got from one of my students on the March course just at the moment, which was to do with customer profitability analysis, asking what it is. And what is it? Well, it's looking, if you like, at costs and profits and products differently in a much more useful way. Normally what organisations do is look at the profitability of a product and therefore group together costs and revenues of that product to come up with a profit or a margin. Whereas CPA says, well, hang on a minute, why don't we instead group together costs and revenues into a customer? So treat the customer as a cost centre almost. So in goes the revenue, in goes the costs, and then you work out what it is that you're making from a customer. And this throws up often some very interesting ideas. Large customers often think they're the best customers, and as a result, because they think they're the best customers, they get big discounts. And that's certainly true of my past experiences working in the training industries, where large accountancy practices viewed themselves as the best customers and therefore demanded 10 and 15 and 20% discounts, whilst interestingly at the same time demanding extraordinary high levels of service. And when you group that together into a customer profitability analysis, you've got the revenue there, which is lower than perhaps it should be. You've got costs. Now, obviously, there will be the normal costs initially, but then there's additional costs. Because they're the best customer, they demand extra mock exams, individual reviews. And I remember doing an individual review for a cohort of 25 students. Took me a day to do, no extra revenue. And therefore, from a business point of view, you do question what that's for. I mean, you have to do it, you might argue, but what, for free? Again, given, don't forget, you got a big discount to start with. Why do we do that sort of stuff for free? That's the traditional way of thinking about it. And normally with customer profitability analysis, one of the conclusions, if you like, is that actually what is your best customer is a very challengeable concept. You know, is your best customer simply the one that provides volume? Now, look, volume is incredibly important in business because it carries the overheads of the business, doesn't it? Yeah, but when you've got these large businesses demanding 20% discounts, demanding high levels of service, yeah, that can really damage margin. And therefore, maybe it isn't your best customer. Maybe your best customer is a small business that puts with you a couple of students to do a course. Is absolutely no trouble. Never bothers you at all. Students get a good level of service and pass. Great, gone away. No problem at all. Maybe that's, if you like, the best customer. And just to take it away from the accountancy market for a moment, I had an old friend of mine who ran a chemist shop. And one of his customers was a local retirement home. And the retirement home contract came up for renewal. And my friend rejected it. And the retirement home was just amazed. Why have you done that? We represent a huge proportion of your revenue. They knew that. They thought they were their best customer because they got high levels of volume. But the truth was that whilst they did have high levels of volume, loads of prescriptions for these older people, what my friend had to do was employ an extra person to process the extra prescriptions, had to buy a machine to package all the pills into little cellophane packets. Imagine the sort of situation where you've got Doris is in a retirement home. She gets a packet of pills Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday at 9 a.m, 12 a.m, 1,500 hours and 1,800 hours. And the pills that she's got to take are in the individual pockets for the individual days. Imagine the risk involved in that for the chemist as well, by the way. Yeah, and never mind the cost involved of producing the packet to start with. And all that added up to that when my friend did a customer profitability analysis, it showed that actually didn't make any money at all out of this massive contract. So he just told them to go buy, gave him to the competitor. Boots, the chemist next door, got it instead. I'm sure Boots were delighted, but actually I'm not sure they were really, even when they really thought about it. So customer profitability analysis informs the business owner, if you like, of where the jam is, where the good news is, and appreciates that. Yeah, and so sometimes you then finish up saying to what someone who thinks they're a good customer, well, no, you're not really. I don't want you. You're an E customer. If you rank your customers A, B, C, D, and E, yeah, what do you do with your E customers? I'll tell you what you do. You give them to the competitors. Yeah, have this. You're welcome to it. So customer profitability analysis is a brilliant idea, and it's part of, if you like, activity-based costing, because it's based on the idea that activity carries a cost, always. So me doing this review of a cohort of students is an activity, and that has to be costed, and it costs money. My friend who's the chemist, putting pills into a packet, that's a cost, that's an activity. So let's cost it. Yeah, and then you take a view then on what is a good customer and what is a not so good customer. And it's a very interesting concept, and I commend it to you. So that is customer profitability analysis.